Hello and welcome back. And unfortunately, this is not good news at all. It is not good news. So there has been disturbing news. The Humanist UK, I'm signed up to them, so I get notifications of their campaigns and different things that they're doing. So and this was the latest one. Apparently, last week, the independent inquiry into child sexual abuse revealed a shocking amount of evidence concerning widespread child abuse in religious settings in England and Wales. So, a shocking amount of evidence concerning widespread child abuse in religious settings. So, not just any kind of settings, but in religious settings. So, sexual abuse, victim blaming, abuse of power, hypocrisy, moral failings, and an atrocious lack of safeguarding. The behaviour revealed in the 226-page report is contemptible. The inquiry explains that there are at least 250,000 children attending religious out-of-setting schools in England, and that a substantial number of these so-called unregistered schools, also known as illegal schools. So it looks like these schools are religious based and some of them are unregistered. A substantial amount of these so-called unregistered schools, also known as illegal schools, that's where this abuse is taking place. The report outlines how these settings are rife with child sexual exploitation and other abuse, with the lack of any regulatory oversight, meaning the abusers can get away easily. So the article reads that in 7 years of leading the campaign against these illegal schools, this is the most serious report we have ever seen. The report should serve as a wake-up call. For far too long, the UK government has been mulling over how to shut down these illegal faith schools. And in the meantime, thousands of children remain at risk. The Department of Education should bring forward legislation as a matter of urgency. We lead the National Campaign for Actions on Unregistered Religious Schools, and children deserve safe learning environments, qualified teachers, and an education beyond the route of learning of the scriptures. So, what you're looking at is the Humanist UK. I will put a link of this article right in the description. But it is very disturbing, because most of these religious places they teach abstinence, they teach purity, they teach don't have sex until marriage and all these things. But when abuse of children take place, the perpetrators are protected, because they're either the religious leaders or they're family members, or people would rather forgive. I talked on my channel. You would see a pastor raped a 3-year-old, and the mother and father decided to forgive the pastor because of God. Guys, sexual abuse alarming rate in religious schools. You would think that these religious schools will somehow be able to cut down on child abuse, but no, the opposite is the case. Let me read some of this. The Independent Inquiry into Child Sexual Abuse. They published their reports. I mean, it's absolutely terrible that this is happening in religious schools. So it says, in the Humanist UK's experience, unregistered schools with a religious character generally provide an extremely narrow curriculum. This is usually focused on learning religious scripture to the exclusion of subjects such as English, maths, and science. Former pupils have described leaving these schools unable to speak English. One said he left with the education level of the average 9 or 10-year-old. Illegal schools often operate in appalling conditions with a total lack of safeguarding, and many pupils are exposed to extreme homophobic and misogynistic content, as well as physical abuse. Wow. Guys, if you're interested to read more on this article, I will put it in the link below. But yes, this is what's happening in the UK. Child sexual abuse at an alarming rate happening in religious schools. So, well, I thought it might be something that might interest you guys. People ask me, how are you moral without God? How are you moral without the religion? And you read something like this, the religious people, they're at it again. Guys, let me know what you think about this. It's quite disturbing, and I'll put the links below, and just check up on what the campaign is all about, and also what the plan is to be done, because it says that it has called today's report a wake-up call that must be taken seriously by the government and at last lead to swift action. That's what we want, swift action in these religious schools, so that more and more children do not go without the adequate education, and more children are not abused in these religious schools. Guys, I'll catch you on the next video, and thank you